Episode 230. Han Li's mind was as sharp as they came. He only had to think it through briefly to grasp 7 or 8 parts of the truth, and his courage swelled considerably. It wasn't that he wanted to take advantage of her weakened state, but he knew full well that he and this Yuling sect cultivator had become mortal enemies. If his opponent managed to escape his grasp and later recovered his core formation strength, he would surely tear him limb from limb. He absolutely could not let this man leave here alive. Han Li, now fully aware of the stakes, wasted no time in urging his magic tool forward, flying straight toward that small hilltop. In the blink of an eye, Han Li reached the summit. He spotted the soul-summoning talisman still obediently in place, its talismans intact. Han Li was overjoyed. He landed cautiously a dozen yards away, a magic tool gripped in each hand. The moment he saw Han Li descending from the sky, the soul driver's face twisted with shock. He clearly never imagined Han Li could have survived. So he forced a few laughs, then parted his lips to say something, but Han Li stepped forward and, without the slightest courtesy, raised a hand. 2 streaks of black light shot forth with a cackling howl.
Since I've already decided to wipe you all out, I don't see the point in wasting words on the soon-to-be dead.
The soul driver's face twisted in alarm as the black dragon halberd shot toward it with murderous intent. Just as Han Li thought he would tear the soul driver apart, the creature suddenly shifted its body, leaping several zhang to the side to evade the attack path.
What do you think you're doing? Have you forgotten the poison you set?
He clearly hadn't expected to be attacked so viciously the moment he laid eyes on Han Li. Han Li acted as if he hadn't heard a word the soul driver said. His gaze was locked on the 3 calming soul talismans plastered on the man's body. He could scarcely believe his eyes.
How could he move with the talisman still on?
Han Li let out a cold snort. Without another word, he pointed at the black dragon bell once more, and the magic tool instantly swelled several times in size, transforming into 2 thick streaks of dark light that shot toward his opponent in a flash. Han Li had made up his mind. Even if it meant sacrificing the walking corpse, he would annihilate every last shred of this core formation cultivator's origin soul. The puppet seemed to read Han Li's relentless intent. As the black dragon devourer came crashing down with overwhelming force, it opened its mouth wide in desperation, and a streak of green light shot forth, somehow blocking the full force strike. At this sight, Han Li was taken aback. He focused on the green light and saw a small inch-long sword glowing with a verdant luster, its surface shimmering with flowing light.
A magic treasure?
He, with merely the 5th or 6th layer of the artifact refining stage, actually used that thing to block my black dragon capture? If this isn't a magic treasure, then what is it? This truly left Han Li both surprised and delighted. He was alarmed that if his opponent still had a magic treasure for protection, dealing with him would be far more troublesome. What pleased him was that if he killed this opponent, he would gain this treasure for nothing.
He must have been a core formation cultivator in his past life, no doubt about it.
With that thought, Han Li directed the black tortoise bell to continue its fierce assault with one hand, while his other hand flipped over, producing the soul-calling bell.
The reason I didn't use this from the start was simply that I thought the spirit-stabilizing talisman had him handled. No need. But it seems I'll have to use this life-bound magic tool to subdue him again.
The moment Ku Hun saw Han Li produce the soul bell, panic flashed in his eyes. But in an instant, a vicious resolve hardened his face. He struck his own lower abdomen, then opened his mouth wide and spat out a single emerald green pellet. As soon as it appeared, it emitted a soft, hazy green light that enveloped his entire body. At that moment, the soul bell in Han Li's hand began to ring, chime after chime. Han Li aimed to leave his opponent utterly limp and powerless, unable to mount even a single counterattack. A full peal of the bell, and the soul driver still stood there, completely unharmed, as if it hadn't felt a thing. Seeing this, Han Li's expression grew grave.
Obviously. That green pill's glow shielded him. My soul-compelling bell was completely useless.
With that thought, Han Li grimly put away the small bell. Then, with a sweep of his hands, a flash of white light released over a dozen puppets. These were the last of Han Li's remaining second-tier puppets. If they were destroyed, all he'd have left were his own shoddy creations.
Han Li was done dragging things out. The moment the puppets appeared, beams of light, glowing stones, and a thunderous barrage all struck at once. Witnessing this devastating assault, the Soul Driver's face twisted with shock and fury. He frantically hurled several hand seals at the green orb, sending it spinning rapidly as its emerald radiance blazed even brighter.
In an instant, a dazzling sphere of light erupted as countless colors collided and intertwined.
The ensuing Soul Expeller was blasted back several zhang by that wave of attacks.
Yet, in the end, he actually managed to withstand several rounds of attacks.
A cultivator at the 5th or 6th layer of chi condensation actually withstood a full-force assault from a mid-building foundation cultivator. That's just insane. But he was originally a core formation cultivator, so having a trump card or two isn't all that surprising.
Ku Hun breathed a heavy sigh of relief, seeing that his two backup moves had successfully blocked Han Li's attack.
I need to come up with some convincing words, and fast, to get this man to stop his insane attacks. With my pitiful magic power, I can't afford to keep this up.
But before he could find the words, Han Li reached into his storage pouch, then suddenly raised his hand. A blinding red light shot from his palm and vanished in an instant.
Before Ku Hong could even process what was happening, the green orb floating before him burst apart. Runo. A tearing pain shot through the depths of his origin soul, wrenching a scream from his throat.
Ku Hun flipped onto the ground, his limbs twitching uncontrollably.
The green light that had enveloped it vanished without a trace the moment the pill exploded. The unimpeded beam of light and the glowing stone surged forward like a swarm, instantly engulfing it. As for the green flying sword, now that its master had lost control, its power immediately waned. Han Li's black tortoise seal pressed it down relentlessly, leaving it on the verge of collapse at any moment.
Seeing this, Han Li was overjoyed. He never imagined that taking the risky gamble of attacking the opponent's green orb with the blood spirit drill would prove so effective. After that single strike shattered the green pill, the opponent himself suffered a catastrophic failure, ending up in such a state.
So the green pill was deeply tied to his origin soul. No wonder he looked so reluctant to use it back then. Could it be this was his core formation golden core?
At that moment, the puppets ceased their attack as Han Li raised a hand, and he then peered intently into the distance. As the light faded, Han Li clearly saw a charred corpse lying on the ground.
The soul puppet wasn't reduced to ashes in that attack. That's unexpected. Could it be because its zombie body is different from a normal person's?
Han Li studied the corpse for a moment, then hesitated. He didn't approach immediately. He swept a hand through the air, and 5 or 6 fist-sized fireballs materialized on the spot. Go! These fireballs shot toward the corpse like crossbow bolts. With a few soft thuds, under Han Li's cold gaze, the charred corpse caught fire. Just as the flames erupted, an egg-sized emerald green light shot out from the blazing inferno, darting desperately to one side in a frantic escape.
Seeing this, Han Li's face turned cold. In a flash, he appeared behind the green light, then shot out a hand like lightning, grabbing forward as a blinding white light erupted from his palm. The green mass let out a pained shriek.
Then, crushed by the spiritual power in Han Li's 5 fingers, it was ground to dust. Han Li flickered back to the Soul Driver's side. With a light sweep of his sleeve, the flames clinging to it vanished without a trace.
A core formation cultivator, and that's all they amount to. A simple illusion was enough to lure them out.
Han Li looked down at the charred soul puppet, a cold sneer curling on his face. Han Li then carefully examined the extent of the soul puppet's injuries. To his surprise, aside from the complete charring on the surface, its internal organs and bones were all perfectly intact.
I knew full well that Ku-hun was just an empty shell, but without realizing it, I had still come to see him as a loyal subordinate. If he could recover fully, I would be more than happy. Besides, I have a plan in mind that requires the soul puppet's participation.
So Han Li took out the soul summoning bell and gave it a light tap. Instantly, the soul-summoned corpse that had been lying on the ground shot upright, its open eyes returning to their vacant stare. Han Li's gaze then shifted to the small emerald-green sword floating in the air. With its master gone, it hung there, completely motionless. Han Li used the black dragon lock to slowly press it down, then carefully tried to probe it with his spiritual sense. As expected, it was blocked at the surface.
It seems it's just like the legends say. Without core formation cultivation, you can't use any unclaimed magic treasure. For now, all I can do is covet this one from afar.
Still, Han Li found himself thoroughly intrigued by this magic treasure. After a few cautious attempts, he finally felt confident enough to take it in hand and examine it closely.
The short sword's blade itself was only 1.5 inches long. Without its master's spiritual power to fuel it, its luster had faded considerably, yet a faint, hazy chill still radiated from its surface, making it all the more strikingly beautiful. And on the blade itself, 2 small, ancient characters were carved. Han Li looked closer and couldn't help but murmur them aloud. Green, yellow. Han Li toyed with it for a good long while, savoring every moment, before he reluctantly and carefully tucked the green-yellow sword back into his storage pouch.
This was the first magic treasure he had ever obtained.
He swept his gaze across the surroundings once more, and the faint green specks on the ground caught his attention. Looking closer, they were the fragments of that green pill, the one the blood spirit drill had blasted apart. Even though it was shattered, the light emanating from it hadn't diminished in the slightest, which left him utterly astonished. He stepped forward, bent down, and gently picked up the fragments. Though he had no idea what use they served, Han Li wasn't about to let them slip through his fingers. He guessed these things must be related to a core formation cultivator's golden core. He didn't bother studying those scattered fragments. Instead, he swept the area one more time, making sure nothing had been left behind, before turning his attention to dealing with the giant mantis.
I'm not about to let this demon beast go. Setting aside everything else, those 4 limbs alone are top-tier forging material, hard to come by even in the cultivation world.